So, back when I was in college, I wanted to do the kind of music on the radio that was not a cappella. And for those of you that were around in the 1970s and 1980s that remember the a cappella around those days, it was very much barbershop, doo-wop, classical music. And it was through the 1980s that I fell in love with a cappella and heard groups like the Bobs and the Nylons were beginning to experiment and explore and kind of push towards more contemporary sounds, but it never really got all the way there. It just felt like doo-wop with a drum machine, like the Nylons. And then with the Bobs were experimenting with different sounds, but I was like, I want to do Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, and I want to do Duran Duran and Peter Gabriel and all this kind of music that was pumping from the college, dorm room speakers as I was attending university. So it was the song "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel that was in the movie Say Anything, where he holds the boom, John Cusack holds the boombox up, and it's one of those like big movie moments. So that moment, I was like, if we could do that. Oh, by the way, if you're not clear on this, a male college a cappella group is an elaborate mating ritual that the male of the species uses to attract a mate, or multiple mates depending upon the individual. And so I knew that if I could arrange that song and get it just right, it could be huge. And I would stop by Tower Records every Tuesday to see the songs that were going to the charts, pick a song, arrange it that night, Wednesday and Thursday rehearse it, Friday and Saturday perform it at different colleges. I mean, we were gung-ho. I don't think I was ever on campus, or on campus, like over the weekend. So I brought that song back to my dorm room, and I set down the sheet music, and, not sheet music, put it in the CD, and got out a piece of paper to start writing the arrangement, and I couldn't do it, because it didn't work. You couldn't use shooby-doo-wop, and ooh, and ah, and dum-dum, and doo-doo, and all those kind of doo-wop and late barbershop syllables to make a song like that work. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take out a piece of staff paper, and I'm just going to start writing out what I hear. And I heard 5 different percussion parts. I heard a shaker, and I heard a talking drum, so I was like, and I was in a West African drum ensemble at the time, so I was like learning all these different percussion parts. And then these background parts, there were these synthesizers that were going like, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to copy down what I hear and then try to figure out how to make it work for voices. So, as the music director of this group, they were used to me bringing in crazy stuff, but this was the craziest. And much as is the case in a barbershop quartet or chorus, we were assigned 4 parts. It wasn't tenor, baritone, bass, but it was tenor 1, tenor 2, baritone, bass. When you got in the group, you auditioned for a particular part, that was your part. So we had 14 guys, 4 voice parts, sometimes some splits. I brought in a piece of orchestral staff paper that had each guy's name next to a different line. And so they looked at it and they were like, dude, what is this? I was like, let's just try it, okay. And you're gonna go, and you're gonna go, and like all this stuff, and they're like, seriously? I was like, yeah, let's just try it. So, end of the rehearsal, they're like, okay, it's pretty cool. I was like, can we please do it this weekend? All right, fine. So it was in Maine, I remember it very well. And I kind of buried the song in the middle of the set because you don't know if it's going to go very well, like try something new. And at the end of the song, as the last chord rang out, the whole place was silent. Like for too long. Like really awkwardly silent. And then, all of a sudden, the entire place leapt to their feet, and one of those kind of standing ovations you see at the end of the movies, and I was like, oh. And I realized, like, I kind of have lightning in a jar here. And so through the rest of that school year and all the way through my final year, I really started to experiment. How do you use your voice as instruments? How do you use your voice as percussion and drums? Not because it was like, there was a means to the end. The means was to use your voice as an instrument allowed you to create the dense rhythmic textures of popular music at the time. And so I did this just to make women love me, and because I loved a cappella, and I was the biggest a cappella nerd in the world. I think that's actually certifiable at this point. And in fact, side note, I didn't get into my college a cappella group until the 3rd audition. First 2, I went in flawless audition, but I was so into it, and college a cappella was not very big at the time, so they're like, that dude's like overzealous. So it was the 3rd audition when I went in there and acted like I didn't care. I didn't even bring an audition tune. I just came in and They're like, so Deke, what song are you gonna sing? I was like, I don't know. They're like, you didn't prepare a song? I was like, no, just pick a song and sing it, it's fine. And then they took me, and then I became music director and changed the history of acapella, so it worked out fine. But there's a character in the movie Pitch Perfect, which came from a non-fiction book, Pitch Perfect. It follows 3 college groups and has a chapter about me in there. And this whole story, Kay Cannon, when she was writing it, she was like, oh, the nerdy guy who loves acapella didn't get in the group. Perfect. And she made the character Benji in the movie based on me. So every time I see Benji step forward and go, I got the magic, I'm like, that was me. And it's funny because Ben Platt was like, dude, am I you? And I was like, hey, listen, I've never had a Star Wars poster and I don't do magic tricks, okay? So we worked everything out. Anyway, this was all in the middle of this story about using vocal instrumental sounds. And by the time I graduated, I decided, and I promised this will end soon and we can actually make music, but I figured you should get some context, like why are we doing all this kind of stuff? We were selling CDs like hotcakes, and I was arranging so much for other college acapella groups, just them calling me on my landline, do you guys remember those? That I didn't have to have a job when I graduated college. Like I was making enough money just arranging music for other college acapella groups. And I was like, I'm gonna make a career of this. I feel like I have lightning in bottles. People only knew, I think acapella could be huge. And so everyone I told this to laughed at me or said nothing. They were like, oh. And even my high school choral director, who's going to be more supportive of you going into choral and vocal music than your high school choral director? He never said it to my face, but he told everyone else around me, he was like, it's like Deke's trying to make a career out of professional tiddlywinks. It's like, it's a dead end, there's no way. But I was like, if people only knew about this new style where you can like make all these different sounds and you can do any song in the world and acapella doesn't feel old-timey. Like, I mean, we could really, and I created the first acapella group with the vocal percussionists called House Jacks, and I created the competition that's in the movie Pitch Perfect. It's a real competition. In America, the basketball tournament, March is called March Madness, and like everybody gets all pumped about all these college groups, and I mean all these college basketball teams, and I was like, I want that for acapella. I want a March Madness of acapella. So instead of the NCAA tournament, I created the NCCA tournament, National Championship of College Acapella. Now it's international, so it's ICCA, ICA, the name's been ruined, but the point is that it ended up taking off and starting festivals and a nonprofit and bringing people together and building this community. And about 10 years ago, when I was first invited to come to Australia, before Pitch Perfect and all this kind of stuff, I was like, this is my dream, this is all I've ever wanted to do with my life. Work with some groups, arrange some music, travel some, sing for people, I'm living my dream. And then everything went completely ballistic and all that. But deep down inside, I'm still just an acapella nerd who loves singing and loves helping people, and that's why I'm here with all of you. So the whole point of this, though, is that the instrumental sounds that I'm going to teach you are a foot in the door, stepping you towards the idea of figuring out how to use your voice in non-traditional ways. If you think about it, through human history, we've created all different kinds of instruments that create all different kinds of sounds and textures and timbres, and then the people stand in the front and sing the melody, or who and on, right? But our voice is the most dynamic and very timbrally, tone-colorly varied instrument in the world. And yes, okay, a synthesizer is able to make a wider range of sounds, but no instrument, including a synthesizer, can make you laugh or cry in 3 seconds. Like, it's all right here. So if we have all this ability, why should we let the instruments be the ones making all these different sounds? We should be able to do it inside of ourselves. So once you start on the path of instrumental imitation, then you start to realize, wow, we can do all these other things with our voice in the backgrounds and create an entire symphony, an entire rock band or jazz combo or whatever of sound to support our lead vocalists and make girls like us. So.